So in this video, we're going to cover how to install the Sunsails shades and the poles that hold them up. And you can use these for holding up the little cafe string lights as well as we did. The way we're doing the poles in this video, you can pull them up out of the ground in the off season if you like. Pay attention to where you're going to put your hardware, your poles. It's going to be based off the size of whatever size sunsail or sails you've bought. This tool list does not show the postal digger that you're gonna need, and you're gonna need it. I ordered this bulk of hardware off of Amazon and the rest came from Home Depot, but you don't need these little anchors, little wall anchors, because they're not gonna work in brick. We have to use something a bit more serious. I think the brand is called Redhead. They are sleeve anchors. It's 3 pieces, and the way they're configured, they can really hold up a lot of weight and tension that you're going to wind up putting on. I actually have to customize this hardware that I got from Amazon though, and I use a 1/4 inch metal drill bit. And just drilling through it isn't not enough. You have to bore out the sides of the material as well, or the hole, to get it to where that sleeve can fit through, because that sleeve is a little bit larger than advertised, I think. So in the concrete, or excuse me, in the brick, when I'm drilling out there, I also have to kind of bore out the hole a little bit more just to be able to hammer these things in later. It's a very tight fit. And when you turn the head on these sleeve anchor screws, it expands out the back that's inside the brick. Everything needs to be snug. Just keep boring out the holes. So I wound up using 3 of these hanging pieces of hardware, and I only bore out 2 holes on each one. And then of course I run into another problem. I have a 3-prong drill and a 2-prong outlet. So I got a little extension cord, modified it by chopping off the little ditty at the end there, and presto, wabamo, slammo, problem fixed. Got my 1/4 inch concrete bit, gonna throw it into this hammer drill and get to work. I start out just by marking the holes, just a little start of the drill bit. Then I can really put the pressure into it. Standing on a ladder at an angle, it's safe for me to use a little elbow grease. Oh yeah, gotta clean these holes out. Little canned air does the trick. So get them going like that. Right, oh, a little much. So see that expanding out? That doesn't need to happen, so pull that out. It will not fit in that hole. This is a very tight fit. So that's about as far as I want to be on the little peg that's at the end. And stick the other sleeve through that side. And get that peg about where I want it. See how it's fatter at the end, like the feet on a desk or something. Kind of looks like a foot on a mid-century modern piece of furniture. That little sucker really pries out once you install it. And you got to drive these sleeve anchor screws in after you've drilled the hole. It sounds kind of nuts, but you really have to put some whammo into this. And then you just tighten them down to expand them. Just a couple of turns with the Phillips head, and it should look like so. Now I'm just gonna throw up the sails just so I can kind of get a feel for where I'm gonna put the poles. I didn't really have it planned out too well. So the graphic I made was after I did the project. For your benefit, it would have been nice if I'd mapped things out a little more. I actually had to move a pole. So these holes are about 27 inches deep, so I can throw about 3 inches of gravel in there, place for that PVC pipe to sit, and then I can get the concrete in there around it. I really take the time to level these because I do not want crooked poles sticking up out of the ground. That would look awful. So this is a really important part, that I take my time, getting it level before I pour the concrete, and after I pour the concrete, it's actually pretty easy to level then too, because this stuff goes in dry. The quick set, no mix. It's a fast set, I think like 35 minutes or something like that. Anyways, the red bag, if I don't have to mix concrete, I'm not going to. You can see I've covered up my face here. I don't want to inhale this stuff. God knows what's in it. I'm checking level from both sides. Take the time to go eyeball it from far away. When you got it set up the way you want, you just add the water as according to the mix on the bag. It's about a gallon. I let mine set up for a couple of days before I put the pressure on them, so the water mixture didn't have to be perfect. Oh, you're around 2 feet deep. And it's hard to pull the post hole diggers out with a load of dirt. That's about 27 and a half. Again, just using some more gravel and busting up concrete from my last project. Got a mud mark. So again, this is that 1.5 inch PVC with a 1 3/8 inch galvanized pole going into this. So the fit is snug. It's perfect, in fact. Later in the off season, if you decide you don't want the poles out there, just pull straight up and they come right out. And it's the easiest thing in the world to just drop them back down in there. That's what those little caps were for. When I say get this PVC end caps for the PVC is so that in the off season, you can put those on top of the PVC that sticks out of the ground and you won't get it full of water. It's right at 100 degrees when I did this and the humidity was about 57%. Now that I'm getting the sails up, it seems like people are gonna come along to help. Oh, there's the love of my life, helping me get those lights on. Now I can spray paint the poles. I used a hammered copper by Rust-Oleum. Of course, I broke a light bulb. This is starting to shape up pretty good.